Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Skills and Abilities. Today we're going to be looking at a passive skill known as Penetrate. Not to be confused with Pierce, which is a completely different ability. Penetrate is a very simple ability, and basically what it does is it gives you a rather massive bump in your attack rating no matter what. It doesn't really care if you're using an ability or you're using a regular attack. It will just give you a massive bump in your attack rating. Now, the problem with Penetrate is that it is just percentage. So as you can see here, right now it starts out at 35%. And 35% is relatively low. So let's go ahead and put some points into it, and you'll notice that it starts to increase relatively nicely. 55 to 65, 65 to 75, and so forth and so on. And as you stack points into Penetrate, you will notice that we get a relatively nice amount of 235% at level 21, which is with 1 plus to skill, which is just fine. 1 plus to skill is at least enough that we're getting something, and of course, it can be buffed up with plus to skills, so if you do have a relatively high amount of plus to skills, the amount of attack rating you get from Penetrate will be pretty massive. The problem with attack rating percent is that you need attack rating raw numbers to make this work. And it is very multiplicative. Let me show you what I mean by this. So let's take an ability that has extremely high attack rating, something like Fend, if I remember correctly. It goes up to 320% attack rating, and we're going to go ahead and use that ability. And you'll notice that I have 4,388 attack rating right now. These rings right here are Raven Frosts, and they have a relatively large amount of attack rating on them. 250 attack rating is perfect, and it also gives you 20 dexterity, and each point of dexterity is going to give you a little bit of attack rating as well. And you're going to notice that with the massive 320% bonus from Fend, along with the pretty massive 235% bonus from Penetrate, I can multiply out this 250 attack rating on the Raven Frost to be a relatively large number. So you'll notice that I go from 4,388 and 2,244 to 6,681 and 3,417. And if I put on a second Raven Frost, I go up even higher to 8,900 and 4,500. And this is really the thing about attack rating, and it's something that you really have to understand, is that it doesn't necessarily matter if you have a large bonus percentage to attack rating if you don't also have the small numbers to back it up. And this is why something as simple as an Annihilus Charm can actually give you a pretty massive attack rating bump. If we take a look at our attack rating, you'll see I have 8,973, 4,589, and the Annihilus Charm brings me up to 9,922, so basically about 1,000 increase on Fend, and about a half 1,000 on my regular attack. And this is because the 20 to all attributes is, of course, giving me dexterity, which is, of course, giving me more attack rating. The +1 to all skills is, of course, beefing up the Penetrate by 1 level, which gives me more percentage. And also Fend is getting beefed up by 1 level, which is giving me more attack rating percentage. And Penetrate is just a really amazing ability all around, because whether you are a Boson or a Javelin and Spears on, or maybe you're just a passive Zon who is doing a really massive amount of damage through passive abilities like Crushing Blow and Open Wounds and Critical Strike, and maybe you have you've maxed out the Valkyrie, which is another point for Penetrate. So Penetrate has a synergy in Valkyrie. So Valkyrie actually obtains 40% attack rating per level from Penetrate, and if you are planning on making yourself a Valkazon, which I have actually done before, if you take a look on my my page, my YouTube channel, I actually do have several videos going over a Valkazon. I've leveled one up completely to max, and gotten the Valkyrie up, I think, to like level 50 or something like that. And I spawned the Valkyrie at level 50, and she can pretty much tank just about anything in the game. It's pretty hilarious. But 40% attack rating per level for the Valkyrie can actually add up to a lot. We're talking about 40% times 20, which is going to be a total of 800% increased attack rating for the Valkyrie. Very massive, which means that she's going to be hitting more often, and it's very important that she hits more often because she hits very slowly to begin with. So the last thing that you want is, if you're building a Valkazon, for your Valkyrie to be missing their attacks all the time. And this is very, very important because as a Valkazon, it's going to be one of your main sources of damage. She hits like a Mack truck. She just hits really slowly. I'm actually hoping that in the patch upcoming, with the changes to Impale, because I do believe she actually uses Impale, I'm hoping that the Impale will actually increase her speed a little bit so she attacks faster. There's a lot of things that I'm looking forward to in patch 2.4, and the Valkazon is definitely an interesting one. That's going to be an interesting video, by the way, going over the Valkyrie Zon. Now, Penetrate was bound to be a relatively short video because it is a relatively simple skill. It increases your attack rating. It increases by a massive percentage, which can also relatively be increased very well through the use of items. Now, one thing I would recommend is that if you are a character who is having trouble with attack rating and you already have a very massive amount of plus percentage, I would recommend finding yourself some charms. Small charms or grand charms or large charms with attack rating on them can actually be very, very effective for a character who is utilizing a large amount of attack rating percentage. And let me go show you one of those charms really quickly. All right, so here I am on my Paladin, and I have several very nice charms here which can be utilized to beef up your attack rating percentage. And this particular character is running some of the nicest ones that I've ever come across. Like, for instance, this is a plus 10 maximum damage, 63 attack rating, 30 life. I also have a plus 8 attack max damage, 69 attack rating, 40 life. These are the kind of charms that you'll be looking for. Things like this. Also, plus 3 max damage with 18 attack rating. Small charms that usually have another effect are also very nice to hang on to. And these small amounts of attack rating can actually have a pretty big bonus when you're utilizing the correct abilities. So, for instance, I'm a Vengeance Paladin, and my Vengeance skill has 230% increase to attack rating. And you'll notice that when I take off, for instance, this 63 attack rating charm, my attack rating goes up and down fairly nicely. However, I can utilize other bonuses to increase my attack rating along with these items, like, for instance, a Demon Limb. One of the easiest ways to beef up your attack rating is to cast Enchant on yourself. Enchant has a massive bonus of 218% as well, and if I were an Amazon, for instance, I could utilize Enchant along with my ability, the Penetrate, the Fend ability, or whatever other attack rating bonuses I have, and I could get multiple attack rating bonuses across the entire character. And then an ability like, or a charm like a plus 10 max damage, 63 attack rating charm is going to do a lot more. And each one of these raw attack rating items is going to have more and more effect the more you can increase your plus percentage. That's the reason why these actually are so useful on a character that has a really high plus percentage, because the 69 attack rating no longer becomes 69 attack rating. It becomes, you know, a much higher number. As you can see, I go from 5,419 to 5,797. Now, Penetrate can also be combined with some other interesting items, like, for instance, Angelic Set. Angelic Set is one of the sets that gives a massive bonus to attack rating, and can be absolutely amazing in the right hands. And it would be amiss if I did not at least mention this when it comes to attack rating. So let me pull up my Angelic Set here real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so here we are with my Angelic Set, and you'll notice that the rings have a massive attack rating based on character level of 1,188. Now, this 1,188 is going to get multiplied by those plus percentages like Penetrate. So the 230% increased attack rating on Penetrate will be beefing up this 1,188 attack rating by a pretty massive amount. This is actually a really common combo, is to utilize just simply the 2 rings and the amulet together. This can give you a massive bonus to your attack rating and fix most of your attack rating issues for most of the game. Not only does it give you 1,188 attack rating from both rings if you're level 99, it also gives you plus 10 dexterity, and 10 dexterity is going to give you more attack rating. So you're looking at 20 dexterity and 2,360 or 76 Yeah. I think those are my quick maths. I probably messed that up, I'm sure. Let me run it on the calculator just to be 100%. 1,188 plus 1,188. 2,376. I think I actually got it right. What do you know? So 2,376 raw attack rating from these two rings. And skills like Penetrate will beef up the attack rating from this massively. You've got to think that that if we're running this on a calculator, we can run the numbers. So 2,376 plus 230% is a total of 7,840 attack rating, which is just massive. And of course, other sources of attack rating will also calculate into this. If you're running charms, for instance, or maybe you are running, a weapon that has a pretty decent amount of attack rating on it, and also if the skill that you're using has attack rating on it. Also, enchant can have a pretty massive bump to your attack rating. So you can have enchant running, you can have penetrate running, you can have the skill that has attack rating bonus on it, and then you can also be utilizing items like these to increase your attack rating even further. I think I've gone over penetrate enough. In fact, I think I've probably said too much about a penetrate at this point. So as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and as always, keep watching.